Hi everyone, it's Tracy, and I have a couple of announcements to make, and then I'm also going to do a scrapbooking layout today. Firstly, I wanted to announce that I've been accepted onto the design team for Scrapbook Supplies Online, which is an Australian based scrapbook supply store, and they've got a lot of really fun products. They've got a lot of my favorite products, and then they also have some products that I haven't had a lot of chance to work with, because I think they just have different stuff over there than we have, so it's kind of exciting getting a chance to work with some, different supplies that are harder to get your hands on over here. So that's really excited, and I'm super happy to be able to, have a new project to work on and something, fun and scrappy to focus on. So that's my biggest news for this week. Almost as big news is that I'm almost at 500 subscribers. Wow, thank you guys. It's funny because I remember, I think it was around this time last year, I was kind of like, wow, 25 people who I don't even know are interested in seeing what I'm scrapbooking. That's so cool. And now here I am a year later, and 500, that just blows me out of the water. That's amazing. So the last time I checked, I was at 498 or something. So I just wanted to give you guys all a shout out and say thanks everybody who watches and comments and watches and doesn't comment or whatever you're doing it. I'm just so happy that you guys are interested in seeing some of what I do. I consider myself just like an everyday scrapbooker. I don't have any professional training or anything, and the reason I started making videos was because I was having trouble finding process videos. I really liked watching other people scrapbooked. I like just even things like, oh, she holds her glue gun that way, I should try that. And so I just kind of learned a lot by watching how other people do things, and we all do things differently, and so I thought I'd share my process with you guys. And so I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching my process and for subscribing to me, so thank you. So having said that, I'm almost at 500 subscribers, so I think it's time for another giveaway. I haven't done a giveaway since my 100 subscriber giveaway. So what I thought I'd do, I don't have anything prepared right now today. It kind of snuck up on me, so I'm not really ready to show you guys. I've been collecting some stuff. Whenever I buy stuff online, I add a couple extra things into my cart, and so I've been, collecting a few things to do another giveaway. And so yeah, I'll just tell you that I'll be doing another video pretty soon that's gonna have, and it might have a challenge component. Bon Scraps has really inspired me to maybe offer a challenge to you guys to make it fun, more fun than just leaving a comment. But it's gonna be a challenge. If I do a challenge, it'll be a challenge that everybody who's a subscriber for me can participate in, so you don't have to make videos to be involved in my challenge, because I think there are probably a lot of people out there who watch videos but don't make them, and so I want to make sure that it's open to everybody. So that's that. And then my third announcement is that, guys, I'm going to Disney World in 8 days. I can't believe it. I have a cold here, and I'm like literally jumping up and down. I'm so excited. So I went to Disney World for my honeymoon, and you might see me pull out some old photos to scrapbook those in the coming weeks, just because I'm thinking more and more about the things we did then and how it'll be so different than the things we're going to be doing on this trip. And when I went to Disney for my honeymoon, I was 29 or 30 years old, and life was so different for me back then, and I think some compare and contrast layouts might be in my future, or maybe even a mini album that's kind of like then and now type of thing. And so, yeah, and then it's also going to be in my project life, and it's going to be in my layouts, and so prepare yourselves. There's going to be a lot of Disney in this channel in the future, so So anyways, I'm going to Disney World in 8 days, and what that means is that I'm going to be doing some scrapbooking today, and I'm going to tape the process, and I might get a chance. I've got a couple of other I've got a queue of photos that I want to scrap, before I get overwhelmed with the whole Disney stuff. So I'm going to try to clear off my craft table in the next couple of days in terms of scrap the things I want to scrap. And I've also got a couple of videos that I've put on my computer but I haven't uploaded to YouTube yet. So you might see a little flurry of videos from me, and then you're not going to see any for a while because I'm going to be away for 7 days, and then as soon as I come back I've got a lot of, I'm working more. I usually work 3 days a week, but to make up for the fact that I'm going on a trip, I'm working a little bit extra before and after. So it might be 2 weeks between when I post the last video and when I come back and post my first one upon return. But I am coming back and I am going to do the challenge, or at least a giveaway of some sort, but I probably won't have time to do the giveaway for my 500 subscribers until after I get back from Disney. So anyways, what else do I want to say? I think that's it. That's it for announcements. So, wow, I never make announcements, and wow, I've got 3 today. So anyways, at the scrapbooksupplies.online website, on her blog, we're going to be doing some challenges every month, and so some sketch challenges. And so Sherry is giving away, what is the prize? I should have checked this before. Yeah, so she has a contest going this month where she's got these page map sketches, one for a card and one for a layout. And if you submit your layout based on this sketch and you have it in by February 29th, it says there, you'll be included for a random draw for, I think it says a gift certificate to the store, a $25 voucher to spend in our store to buy more fabulous goodies. It says right there. The prize will be a $25 voucher to spend in our store to buy more fabulous goodies. So so it's kind of cool that she's giving away a prize, because we all scrapbook out anyway, so I always like, you know, submitting my layouts for prizes because it's always nice to win something extra. So I'm gonna do this layout, and I've actually had these photos for quite some time that I've been wanting. They haven't been printed for quite some time, but I've had it in my head that I wanted to do. These are photos from our local market. This is rum and liqueur that's made by a local not brewery, whatever they're called, places that make alcohol. And then these are the tops of a bunch of bottles of cranberry juice. And then these are some, ooh, I'm hungry just looking at these. These are some things from a bakery. So they're all kind of, I printed them up in 2.5 by 4.25. So they're kind of longer and shorter than most 4x6. They've got a different aspect ratio. I think that's what's called aspect ratio. Anyways, and so because my pictures go landscape and the sketch, calls for portrait photos, I'm going to be turning my sketch on its side and scrapbooking it this way. And the other thing also is that I've printed my photos smaller. This would be, yeah, so I've printed my photos smaller, so I probably won't span the whole layout like this sketch does. I'll probably kind of miniaturize this. I'll use this sketch, but it'll have a border around it. The 12 by 12 size will be bigger than what I'm actually doing. So okay guys, so I've actually received a couple of requests that I talk a little bit more about why I do some of what I do, and some of what I do I just kind of accidentally find, but I thought I'd talk a little bit about what I'm doing here. Because what I'm doing with this sketch is I'm basically miniaturizing it, so I'm turning it on its side, and then I want to stick to the sketch, but it's going to be in the middle of a larger piece of 12 by 12 paper, and so I want to kind of have a sense of scale. So whenever I'm doing something like that, I just grab a piece of white cardstock. It doesn't have to be good cardstock because it's really just a placeholder, right? So I want to have a sense of scale about how big this layout is going to be relative to the overall, so I don't, you know, end up making it too big or squeezing it together too much or whatever. And then I'll just show you some of the things that I've pulled out of my supplies. it's kind of a random bunch of paper, and what I'm keeping in mind as I choose my paper from my stash is, because it's a market layout, it's a layout about a trip to the market, I want to choose sort of old vintagey, markety type of stuff. And so like the Odds and Ends collection by Cosmo Cricket, I don't have this collection, but I think I gotta get it because I keep using pieces of it, and it's a collection I'd love to have. So I've got this, which has these words, these typed words. I also have my typewriter out in my scrap room now. It's permanently out. So I'll definitely use some typewriting on this layout, whether it's this or something else, just for that vintage feel. I've got these rulers, and this is by, I don't know who knows. It's rulers. And then I have this paper by Echo Park. Is this? Yeah, Echo Park. For the Record. I love the For the Record collection, but what I picked this paper for was the black elements, because there's lots of black in my photos, so I don't like, you know, dark photos to be the only, the dark in the photos to be the only darkness on my layout. So whenever I have a photo that has lots of black in it, I like to bring black into the outside of the pictures as well. So you know, remember this, I've got this nice strip of stars and some borders and stuff. And this might end up being the ruler that I choose to use, just because it's black as opposed to these rulers. So I've got this piece of paper, and I need to be careful about the greens. This green is a challenge because this is actually the true color of that green icing on the squares, but it's a very bright neon green. It's not even a lime green, it's neon green. So I need to be careful about the greens. That poses a bit of a challenge, and I might just ignore it and use whatever green I want. But this green is kind of, and this green, those two kind of look okay with it. And so I might choose to go with more yellows than greens, just because that green is a challenging one. I love this paper, and it's got blacks and yellows and greens in it, and reds, because the red's in this. And then the labels on these bottles have primary colors as well. It's got the yellows and the reds and the blues, and so yeah. This I picked out just because it has a vintage feel, and it's a Lily Bee Design paper. This in that milk bottle, and I thought it just had a really nice vintage feel to it. I'd love to use it as a background. It is a little busy. Now when I'm doing a busy background, if I choose a background this busy, I'm going to want my layout to have minimal embellishments, just because it's the embellishments tend to get lost on a busy background, and they kind of compete with each other. I chose this just because it's like an old newspaper piece, and it really, ooh, and it has those nice black polka dots on the back. And, you know, I thought maybe I could even cut out one of these, or cut it out kind of like that, and have like a piece of it layered in behind something or something. But I'm not sure, because it might be too vintagey, and this is a very kind of graphical type of look. So I might want to go for more graphical type papers as opposed to vintage paper. So yeah, these are the papers that I have sort of starting with, but as you know, I'll probably pull out more as I go. And then I have, for embellishments, I have these metal embellishments from American Crafts, and I really like the bee one, and I like the ones that don't have any. They're like glazed brads, the same kind of epoxy type stuff. I have this bag of buttons that I didn't use on my last layout, and there's some oranges and blacks, and I really got it because there's lots of blacks in there to use. I have a roll of this gray tape stuff that I probably won't use. It's flocked lace. I probably won't use that. Actually, I think I'll chuck that. And then these, I might use some of these. because they're pretty. Basic gray glazed brads. I want to use them on something, but I don't know if this will be the layout or not. If I do use them, I'll use these little ones maybe. Okay. In the wings, I have my October Afternoon Farmhouse collection because it's got lots of pretty labels with red and these stickers as well. And there's lots of kind of markety stuff like these old chairs and that sort of thing. And I just grabbed this pad because it has lots of red, and there's red. So I might use this for punched elements or something. It's too vintagey, it's too grungy for what I'm wanting to do, but I might use punches from it or something. So. Okay, so I thought I'd show people what this is and how it works, because I got a lot of questions about it the last time that I used it in a process video. This is, I forget what it's called. It's some type of a border. You know what? I'm gonna go find out what it's called. Okay. It is called the Border Maker System, and it comes with different cartridges, and I can't remember how they come in. Oh yeah, you press this button to release it. Pardon me, I'm starting to lose my voice. And this is called the Frame Chain, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, the Frame Chain border cartridge, and I had to buy this separately from these two pieces came together with another one of these that has like a pinked edge on it. Anyways, I love this border. It's my favorite border ever. So far, this is my very favorite border. So, and I always forget how to use it too until I use it. So it comes like this. You have to flip this blue part out, and then that becomes your guide to make sure that your paper is in there properly. And then you put this down like that. So like that. And what that does is it sticks out the exact right amount of paper for you to use this machine. So then once you've lined up your paper and there's a magnet in there that keeps the paper in place, then you just snap that back in place like that, and then you've got the exact perfect amount of paper hanging out to use your border punch system thingy, your border maker system. And then you see these two pieces stick out, and then there's these grooves right here. And so you just stick this in here. It's better to do it on the table. You stick that into your paper and you gotta find the first slot, and so it kind of like it locks in. So there's the place that you start. And it's just like doing a border punch, only instead of using your eyes to line it up, you just go over two kind of like bumps, and you'll know that you're in the right place because I'm gonna zoom in so you can see this. You know that you're in the right place because this little dot here is lining up with this little dot here. And so I'm gonna do another one of these. I'm gonna zoom out for you, and then I'm gonna go over another 1, 2 little bumps. And again, those, oops, 2 little notches are across from each other, so I know I'm in the right place. And that's how this one works. So I'll just finish that off. And you get this really super cool border. It's very pretty, and I like to outline it because I outline everything, but yeah, I like it. So that's all I have to say about that. Okay, so what I've just done is I've put a whitewash, or it's not actually white, but it's an off-white wash, over this page, because as it was, this is kind of like a before and after, as it was just a little bit too busy, too many lines going in different directions, and I like the lines, and that's what made me pick the paper, but it needed to be a little bit more subtle. I might even go over it with one more coat. It has to dry a little bit more, and then I might put one more coat of whitewash over it to make it a little bit more pale. My goal is not necessarily to change the color of the paper, but just to make the lines less bold, so that it doesn't have so much competition with my strips of paper that I'm going to have on the side here. Another way that, so you notice that I started with my paint dauber, and I do use my paint dauber to whitewash smaller items. It was gonna take forever with my paint dauber and use up all the paint, and I like that this paint is not completely opaque, so you can use it to go over things and not cover them up entirely. And so I didn't have any of I couldn't find any good white paint, so I just used some of this Liquitex heavy body acrylic paint. It's the same stuff as what comes in the little the paint tubes that I usually use, kind of like this. It's just a heavier, so it has more pigment in it and it's heavier. And so I just diluted it with water and then put this on it. So I'm gonna do another coat of that, I think, and then I'll get back to you. Then I have a tip for when you're done painting. So I just did my second coat of whitewash on my paper, and when you're done, if you don't want to run and clean out your brushes right away, I reuse these as much as I can, even though they're very inexpensive. What I do is I kind of, I just kind of wrap it up like this in a baby wipe, and the baby wipe will keep that wet. What you don't want to have if I were to leave this and the paint were to set, it would get all sticky and gooey and I couldn't use it anymore, and then it would get hard by the time I went to clean it out. But as long as it stays wet, then I can still clean it out later. So I just covered up with a baby wipe, and then if I'm gonna be down here for a really long time and I notice that it's drying out, I'll actually grab my water mister and mist it just to keep it really wet if it's drying out, and then that'll be good for a couple of hours until I finish up this layout and maybe even another one. And then when I go upstairs at the end of the day to clean up, I'll just grab this and clean it up. Okay, so I'm finished this layout and I almost didn't put any embellishments on it at all. It was almost just paper, a title, and pictures. But I really wanted to do something with the bottle caps, the red bottle caps. And I had already made a diagonal across my page with the paint splats, and so I decided to kind of continue that with the bottles. So the buttons kind of mimic the bottles. So I've got like red here, red there, so it kind of makes a line across. I often do that with butterflies or with hearts, but here I'm doing it with buttons, so that's something different for me. I really like how this turned out with the whitewash on the paper. If I had made this layout on the original paper, the lines would just be every which way, and it would really kind of distract from the photos. This way, the black lines are quite a bit more subdued, and the pictures kind of come forward, and you get to really kind of, actually all of the elements come forward, and the paper really does become a background, as opposed to this would be quite busy, and it would be competing with the with all of the embellishments and photos. I really love that I was able to find this ledger paper to do this layout on. It says to whom sold. Under here it says number of pounds or gallons. Well, you can see that there, and the price and everything. So this is like a market ledger, and so finding this paper, it was just perfect, and I had to figure out a way to use it, and so I'm glad that I was able to whitewash it so that it would work, because it's the Halifax Seaport Market. I like any word that gives me a chance to use up some unusual letters like X, and even F and H aren't all that commonly used on my thickers, so I always take advantage of any opportunity to use a word like that. So Halifax Seaport Market. I didn't have the A, I didn't have two A's in this, and also it would be too long to put the whole word Halifax on there, so HFX is short for Halifax. So I thought that this background piece, which is a piece of ephemera by Seven Gypsies, I thought that this background piece would make a great journaling title frame thing. I don't know what I'm calling those things, but you know, to go behind my title. And I think it really turned out well because it's got exactly the right colors. It's got a hit of red, it's got the kind of bluish green, and then the lime green that kind of picks up on that, and on the yellow. It's kind of like a yellow. This is kind of a mixture between yellow and green, which is nice because I've got yellow here and green here, and there's both yellow and green in this. So, so I think despite the fact that that really bright green is in the photo, I think that this layout looks okay anyways. And that's also why I brought in the green letters, the green thickers, was because of that green. So I outlined them in black because the background was so bold with big thick outlines. These are actually blue, navy blue outlines, but the title tends to disappear when you've got such big bold graphics behind the title, so I just outlined around, and I didn't really outline, I more edged. Like when I outline, I leave a little space so you can see, you would be able to see the green on the other side of the outline, just a little tiny sliver of green, but instead what I did this time was I just kind of rubbed my marker along the edge of the thicker. That's actually quite a bit easier to do. You don't have to have quite a steady hand, and it gives a similar look to this background here. With it's got a similar width. So, and I used my typewriter. I have my typewriter set up now, so I can just run over and use it anytime I want. That enabled me to put these little Cranberry Goodness, Soothing Spirits, and Bakery Delights on here just to personalize it a little bit. Where I don't have any journaling, I just wanted to put in a little couple words there. And that's my layout. Thanks for watching, everybody.